Hi, and welcome to a presentation of the next generation of online revenue solutions that eG4 are providing. With benefits, we've already revolutionized how many business processes work, and so we're now looking to do the exact same with the revenue side of things, making sure that all of the business processes that can be automated are done so. So as you can see here, we have an online form which enables a person to apply for either a discount or an exemption. Now, as with all of our forms, you can continue or start a form. You can add multiple languages. You can change the form for high contrast for visually impaired users, including being able to increase the font size. All standard features within our eGovHub forms. One of the other powerful features that we have is the ability to edit text should you want to. So it's simply a case of clicking on the edit button, selecting the text that you want to edit, and then making the change. All of the changes done in real time. For those of you that have already got our benefits products, you'll be very familiar with this capability. So what we're going to do is we're first of all going to ask the person who they are so that we can make sure that we collect the details ready for the back office to be updated. So this includes recording things like their name, their date of birth, and their contact details. Once they've done that, we're actually then going to move on to more of the business specific side of things. So we're going to ask them what their council tax account number is and whether they live in the property. Asking these questions will enable us to determine whether it's a discount or an exemption that they require. We're also going to ask about Rising 16, so we're going to ask about any other residents that are present that are over 16 years old. And then the last thing is whether they want to apply for a discount or an exemption. We're then going to also ask for the details of the other occupant and when they moved in. Because by knowing the ages of the people that are resident, we can decide whether it should be an exemption or a discount. Now, because both of the occupants have been set as students, we know that this should be an exemption. Now, eG4 wants to revolutionise every business process, and that's why what we've done for the student online form is we've enabled local authorities to actually upload details of all of the fully time matriculated students in their authority directly into the application, which means that as the person provides details of their matriculation number and the university or college that they attend, we'll be able to check those details in real time based upon the actual spreadsheets or PDFs that the universities or colleges provide you. So in this instance, we've been able to confirm that both John McMahon and Andy Cope have both been confirmed as students, and including that, we've actually been able to highlight the start and end date of their courses. Now, by comparing the dates that they moved in with the dates that their student courses start, we can ensure that we apply the discount or exemption from the correct date. Now, because we've confirmed both of their student statuses, we don't need any further evidence. Once we've gone beyond that, the person is afforded the opportunity to look at every question and every answer that they provided thus far, and then they can sign the electronic declaration with a simple tick of the box to be able to get the details into the back office. So that is us just completely done a student exemption online. Now, because of the fact that all of our forms are connected to our management portal, we can immediately load the reference number for that case and open it up. So as you can see, we found John McMahon, and we can see when he started his form, when he completed it. We can see the actual completed PDF version of the form and the declaration which is ticked. We can even see the exemption XML which will be passed to the back office. And another feature that we have is the ability to see how long each page and every question took to answer, as well as seeing the IP address so that you can see whether it was completed inside or outside of the council. You also have the ability to email any attachments that the customer may want, so if they want a copy of anything, then you can email it from there. And you also have the ability to report on things. The thing that we saw briefly there was the ability to post data to URL, and that basically provides councils with the flexibility of choosing to post the data to the XML, post the data of the XML into the back office. So that's basically us done a student exemption. Extremely simple, and we could do it all within about 3 to 4 minutes. What I want to show you now is another example of an exemption. In this instance, it's going to be an uninhabitable exemption, just to show you another innovation that we've provided. So as you can see, we've said that in this instance nobody's resident and the property is uninhabitable from the 3rd of July. So immediately the form changes the questions that are asked thereafter to relate to the uninhabitable status. So what date was the property uninhabitable from? And then please provide us with details of the actual structural works that are being carried out to make it in that state. So the citizens providing details of the fact that the property had been severely flooded, and this is the sort of thing that you would expect to come in even in an email or, something, or even an old paper letter, somebody requesting, an exemption from their council tax on the basis of this. So this person's provided details of the fact that it's flooded, and normally, historically, what this would mean is that somebody would have to go out and inspect the property. But we wanted to do something smarter so that you could reduce the really expensive cost of doing inspections. So now, people can actually take a photo of their house, and you can stipulate the size of the photos, how many they should provide. But by uploading that photo, they can provide proof of the fact that their property is in the state that they are claiming. So when we submit this form, we go back into our management portal, load up the case reference number that we've got at the end there, and the one difference in this time when we load the management portal is you can see that there's an option for uploads. So if I click on that, I can immediately see the photo of the property which is being stipulated as being flooded and damaged, and you can see quite clearly it is. So that's Class A exemptions and student exemptions all done extremely quickly and really simply. But what about if a person wants to do the student application process using a smartphone? For example, you may want to put a QRC code on a flyer or a poster in your offices to say, why not scan this and use our mobile version of our form? Now the target demographic of students is such that they probably would prefer to do that rather than doing it on the internet or on a laptop device. So what you can see with the smartphone device is it's got all the same capabilities that you would expect from the laptop version, and it even has the same look and feel. So I can start or continue a form that I had before. All of the guidance notes are exactly the same as what we had in the laptop version. And going through the tell us who you are page, so collecting their details, again exactly the same as what it is as the experience when I was using the laptop. And because you're using a smartphone, you have all of the autocomplete features that you would expect as well. So as you can see, we got into the exact same screen within the smartphone as what we had on the desktop equivalent of the internet. So we just provide our council tax account number, we say whether we're in the property or not, we'll provide the date that we actually moved in, and in this instance I'm going to say it's just myself living in the property. So I'm going to set that to 0. And then I'm again going to go in, select the type of exemption as being student, press next. I'm the only resident and I'm the student, and therefore it's going to know to provide an exemption if student status is confirmed. So again, I select the university, provide the matriculation number, and provide the start date of course and end date of course. Now the only reason that we've actually got these fields in there is simply because of the fact that they may go to a university or a college which doesn't provide you details of all of the full-time students. From our experience and speaking to customers, it looks like the major universities all provide details directly to the authorities, but we obviously want to cover all bases. So as you can see, we've confirmed the person's student status and said that the course start date is the 1st of June 2012, and as such we will look to create an exemption based upon that effective date. Press next, we get the exact same message saying that they don't need to provide any evidence, and when the person's happy to proceed, they just press next, and then they are ready to submit the form. So it's exactly the same. They could review their answers if they wanted to, and at this point they just set their declaration, scroll down, and then they are ready to submit it. Now the beauty of this is it gets submitted into the back office exactly the same way as if they were completing it using a laptop or a PC. So the same page and the exact same process of updating the back office. So IEG4 have introduced the ability to authenticate student status in real time, the ability to upload evidence to be able to back up Class A exemptions so that you don't need to visit them, and save massive cost savings on that, and citizens are able to access all of these services using their smartphone. I hope that you enjoyed this, but please go to ieg4.com for more details. Thank you.